Hi, hello, welcome on in. My name is Emily and today we are going to be exploring the first week of my brand new Animal Crossing island. If you are new here or if you're returning, welcome back. I'm very glad that you could be here. We do have some business to attend to, but before I do that, I did just want to mention last week I made a video all about this island, planning the island, some things that I want, the theme we're going for, the dreamies that I'm after. So if you haven't checked that out, I would highly recommend going and looking at that first. But if you've already watched that, welcome on in. We do have a few goals that I want to go over for this first week. So the first things first, I really want to have a look at the map, pick a really good map, and then name the island, which I've got a fun idea in mind, so you have to wait and see. I also would love to get the museum, get Nook's Cranny, and upgrade my house a few times. I want to upgrade resident services as well, or at least get that sort of ready to go. I also want to do some villager hunting for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th villages, and hopefully get some dreamies while we're there. And honestly, just enjoy the nostalgia of the first week on the island. We're about to pick the map. All I'm going to say is, look, I restarted the island about 14 times. I was really, really picky about which map I wanted. There were a few that were kind of doing it for me, but not all the way. So I did restart 14 times. I eventually found the map, as you can see, the one that I liked. It just had the right peninsula size, resident services in the right place. I did like that little separate island in the middle of the map as well. So I was being picky, but with good reason. And look, I think it's important that you're picky about a map because you can't change it. Okay, so our starting fruit is apples. I'm not mad about that. I would have preferred peaches, but that's okay. I just hope we don't have a blue airport or like a gorilla starter. Okay, so our starting villagers are Phoebe and Bam. They're not the worst. I can live with it. They are absolutely not the worst. So firstly, what we did was we grabbed our tent from Timmy and Tommy, and then I placed everyone on the beach, me included. I don't know about you, but I feel like putting the tents anywhere else is a bad idea. They just get in the way. Everyone is beach livers. We all live on the beach to start. We then have Tom Nook telling us we're going to have a party, and in true Scammy Nook fashion, I have to do all the work. Look, everyone else just gets to hang out in the plaza. I have to go out and do all of the hard work. So I go and collect all of the branches. I also collect all of the apples at the same time. Saves me a bit of time. I'm semi-speed running this whole beginning week just to try and get it through quicker so then we can do terraforming and decorating. It's time, everyone. It is naming time. I've thought about this. I spent a hot minute having a look online, having a look at like Cottagecore kind of theme names. I don't know if you've guessed what I might have named this, but I have decided to go with the name Thistle. We then have a little party about the name. We have a wee sip on some apple juice harvested by yours truly, and then I go down for a lie down, a little nap, a little kip, a little moi, and fall asleep to the wonderful sounds of KK Slider. It is a brand new day, and Mr. Scammy Nook wastes no time in giving me a brand new Nook phone and of course my first bill. It is the first official day, so I have my first DIY, I shook some trees, and I crafted some tools. I really wanted to get a head start on the museum stuff, so I'm aware that I have to do 5 creatures to Tom Nook to unlock the option for Blathers, and then I have to have 15 more creatures of some kind later on to be able to give to Blathers in the museum for him to upgrade that. So that's pretty much what I did. Once I had collected enough sea creatures and bugs, I went and handed them into Tom Nook. So I handed the first 5 in, and then he gave Blathers a call. So that was one of the goals I wanted to achieve, was getting the museum. I managed to later on catch a bunch more to get the full 15. So we do end up unlocking Blathers, placing the tent down, and then later on we actually upgrade the museum. Spoiler alert, but you'll see that later. Next thing I wanted to tackle was that pesky debt that Scammy Nook had given me of 5,000 Nook miles. So I collected a few, and then I went around and picked up like every single weed that I could on the first part of the island. You can get the greedy weeder achievement, and if you do like the first few stages, it gets you a good amount. I also went and sold a bunch of stuff and like genuinely did as much as I could to try and get all of those first few Nook mile achievements out of the way, just so that I could pay off Tom Nook and not have to worry about being in debt, you know. So at this point, I've got my 5,000 miles. I am ready to pay my debt off, and I'm ready to be out of debt. And look, I pay it to him. He says thank you, and he lets me know I'm out of debt. And then in true Scammy Nook fashion, he puts me back in debt. 98,000 bells. Yeah, thanks, bud. Look, if the debt wasn't enough to scare me, I'm just gonna leave you with the horrors of nighttime before I end the day and we go on to day 2. I hope you enjoyed reliving my Animal Crossing nighttime trauma. Before I ended the day though, I did grab a couple of things. I bought a wetsuit for tomorrow, so it arrives, and I bought the tool ring as well. I also couldn't end the day without catching the faithful sea bass. So that is the end of day 1. It's a good start today too. The airport is open, so now I can go to a treasure island. Blathers is here. I check my mail, shoot something up the sky, grab a DIY bottle, change my outfit, and then I go and talk to the boys about the new Nook's Cranny, which is another one of our goals that we need to tick off. In true Animal Crossing fashion, I now have to do some hard work again, so I have to collect 30 each of the wood, hardwood, softwood, and iron nuggets. I then make some moves towards upgrading the museum, so I grab all of the creatures I need, and then I head into the tent, talk to Blathers, and hand in all of the creatures I need. Yes, it is 1 by 1 at the beginning. No, you cannot do multiples on the first instance of the museum tent. My sort of mission here was to get the museum and the shop done like simultaneously, however you say that word. So I organized for the museum to be all upgraded, and then I made sure I handed in all of the pieces I need for the shop. So I had the hardwood and the softwood on hand, and then I was a little bit naughty, and look, the airport was open, so I went to a treasure island. Say what you want about me going to a treasure island, I was not about to sit here and hit rocks for all of the 30 iron nuggets. We all know the struggle, and I'm not going to put myself through it while I'm trying to speed run. I also grabbed some royal crowns. So a good tip if you do frequent treasure islands and you want better bag to bells ratio efficiency is grab the royal crowns instead of the 99,000 bell bags. One royal crown will sell for 300,000 bells, so you kind of get 3 for the price of 1, if that makes sense. We now have the shop done, which is very exciting, so that is another goal ticked off. Museum, tick. Nook's Cranny, tick. I also grabbed the other fruit while I was at the treasure island as well, so I could tick them off, grab some more Nook miles because I know we're going to need them a little bit later on just to unlock and buy stuff like what I'm grabbing now, which is the pocket organization guide, other terraforming bits and bobs later on. So I was just trying to accumulate some Nook miles, and then I used that wetsuit that I bought the day before and went and grabbed some sea creatures. I then may have gone back to a treasure island. I'm exposing myself a little bit, I kind of love him. I wanted a better outfit. Don't blame me, the starter outfit is not cute. And then I time skipped and we are now on day 3. It is now day 3. I am very, very happy. We are making very good progress. Mabel is in the shop at the moment. Nook's Cranny is open. So that means Mabel will now visit the island so we can get the Able Sisters store, which is very exciting. I also made an effort to start purchasing stuff in Nook's Cranny so then I can get that upgraded as soon as well. And look at all the cute stuff in the store. I feel like I can definitely use a lot of this stuff for cottagecore, springcore kind of vibes with the green and browns. And I'm sure you saw in the morning announcements that today is the day we get to put down the first 3 plots, which means we do get to go villager hunting. And in true Scammy Nook fashion, he is going to ask me to do the most long-winded mission of the entire game. Here we go. Honestly, it's not actually that bad. I shouldn't complain. It's just, it is genuinely the most like kind of labor intense part or mission of the game. So we have to craft a bridge firstly. So we have to get all of the stuff for that. It's not too bad, it's just like a few bits of wood and that sort of thing, but we do have to do quite a lot of like more labor intensive crafting. So if you're not a fan of crafting, you're gonna hate this mission. If you love crafting, this is gonna be right up your alley. We have to make like a lot of furniture for the housing plot. So I think there's 6 pieces of furniture for each housing plot. There's 3 housing plots. Can I do quick math? What is that? 18 pieces of furniture to craft. As you can see, I've made the bridge and I've placed the bridge down, so that is step 1 with this mission before we go along and start making all the furniture. I did take a little bit of a break and just paid off the home loan, the very first one, the 98,000 bell one. I wanted some more storage, so I wanted to upgrade the house to the next tier, so that is what I did. I did also do like a quick time travel. I'm not counting it as day 4. I'm still counting it as day 3, but I just knew that I would probably need some storage to hold all of the things like the wood, the clay, all of that sort of stuff, and anything else I needed, and I didn't want to make life more difficult on myself. I went and talked to Tom Nook. He gave me the first 3 housing kits and all of the DIY recipes for all the furniture. I've got a good tip for you. I didn't come up with this, someone else told me this. What you do is open up your DIY recipe list on your phone and favorite all of the recipes that you need to make. It makes it very, very easy later on to keep track of exactly what you're making. And as you make them, you can tick them off. So then you don't get confused, accidentally remake something you've already made and then waste your resources. Now, normally with this task as well, I would put as many plots as I can on the beach, but I did notice after I loaded into the game that my beach is not very big. I don't have a lot of beach area to fit large plots, so I did have to come up with an area where I could put them all, at least just for now, before I go and start organizing and redecorating. So there is a strip along the northern river that I completely cleared, so I picked up all of the weeds, I cut all of the trees down, filled in all the holes, and kind of prepped the land for actually putting the plots down and making all of the furniture. Once all the land was cleared, I did place all 3 plots down, as you can see. Now there is a little bit of an art to this, or a trick to this, if you do want to go villager hunting. If you want to go villager hunting, you can place all 3 plots down, but do not put any of the furniture down, because once you put the furniture down, the plots will auto sell and auto fill to a random villager. If you want to have control of who actually moves into the plots, don't put any furniture down, just place the plots down, grab your Nook Mile tickets, and then head to Nook Mile Islands to villager hunt. Now, I kind of did this task in a little bit of a funny order because there were a few things that I wanted to get done. So I firstly, after I placed all of the plots down, I went back to a treasure island. Funny, me going to a treasure island. happened. And I grabbed a bunch of things that I needed. So I grabbed a bunch of Nook Mile tickets for the villager hunting that we are going to do very shortly. I also grabbed like some new clothing, and I grabbed some storage sheds and that sort of thing to make my life a little bit easier. I also thought while I was here, handing everything into the museum that I needed to as well. So that's all done and dusted because I time traveled a day. Technically the museum was upgraded and open. I'm still classing this as day 3. It's not day 4 yet. Day 4 comes later. And then I went ahead and I crafted every item that I would need to place down on the plots. I didn't put any items down. All I did was craft all of the items, and then I went to my pockets, grabbed my Nook Mile tickets, and then went villager hunting. And this is possibly the most exciting part of the game for me, and I'm very excited to take you along to Dreamy Hunt and see if we can actually find some dreamies for the plots to fill. Now, with this villager hunt, I'm sure you can see that I have encountered a few disgusting villagers, aka Truffles, aka Al. Look, I'm glad I didn't have a lot of like really bad villagers. We are limited to only the lazy, normal and peppy villagers for this villager hunt, as they are the personality types that will fill into those first 3 plots. So I don't have any on my dreamy list for peppy, but I do have a couple on lazy, and most of them are actually normal. So you know, we do have a few options we could encounter. Coming up, we do actually encounter our first dreamy, which is exciting. But enjoy the repeated truffle cameo. Get him away. Yay, we have Tia! I was nervous to find her because I haven't encountered her very often when villager hunting in the past, so I was worried that I would have to spend a lot of Nook Mile tickets on her later, which I'm glad we've secured her now. And then the next villager we get is a peppy villager. I kind of just picked one that I liked, but they weren't on the list because I don't have any peppy villagers on my list, so we just picked the best one out of the bunch and went from there. Last up is our lazy villager. Who's it gonna be? And that is it for the villager hunting. I'm so stoked with who we have. Again, like I said before, I was nervous about finding Tia later on, so I'm glad we've got her now. I'm not mad about having Patty as the peppy. We have to have a peppy, it's just part of the game, but she's a good substitute for now until we can get one of our dreamies later on. And I'm very happy to have Eric as well because I've never had him on an island before, so very happy. Now with the items, I went back over to the plots and I submitted all of the interior items for the plots and placed down all of the exterior ones as well. So what that does is that now secures the villages that we have hunted for, and it means now that they will move in over the next 3 consecutive days. I also spoke to Tom Nook, told him all about it, grabbed some fencing, and I think I paid off a home loan as well just to get some more storage. With the fencing, I actually did go and place it all around the new 3 plots. He gives you 50 fences, and it's part of unlocking the 3 stars is having a certain amount of fencing on the island. So I just put that down to secure that, to try and help speedrun getting the 3 stars. It is now day 4 and we have made a lot of progress thus far, which I'm very, very happy about. With this day, I did a little bit of admin, so I talked to Harvey because he was here, so then I can unlock all of the marketplace on his island later on. I also spoke to Leaf. I think Leaf is probably my favourite NPC, and me and him kind of have the same name, Leaf, Emmy Leaf. Kind of works, it's good. So I bought a couple of things from him as well, which I'll need later on, and then we went and spoke with the brand new villager, which is Eric. Day 5, I didn't do a lot. I kind of just went and spoke with Paddy, and I did a few dailies. Keep it cute, keep it simple, and then I time skipped to meet Tia. Day 6, and we are coming up to the end of the very first week on my brand new island. I went and met Tia, which was a lot of fun, and then I went and spoke with Mabel so we could try and secure Able Sisters for next week. I spent a bit of coin, a few bells to try and get her to move in quicker, and then we also have a resident services upgrading, which was on our list to get done as well, so that should occur over the next couple of days heading into next week. But otherwise, that's pretty much it for the first week on the island. I am so happy with the progress that we have made. We have pretty much ticked off every single thing that I wanted to do on my list from the beginning of the video, which is wonderful, and it means that next week we will be focusing on getting the island to 3 stars, and then we'll be able to decorate to our heart's content, which I think is the most exciting bit. If you've stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing between now and then, feel free to check out my socials down below, but otherwise I will see you next time. Bye.